Welcome back to Vol Talk. I'm your host, Ali La Rosa. Today, we're here with Amrita and McKaylee from the Model UN Debate, a style club on campus that attends conferences and competes with other Model UNs. But first, we're going to check out what students know in Circle Talk.
Do you think you can name 3 nations that are part of the UN?
3 nations a part of the UN. I have no idea.
England. No.
Germany, Hungary, and Spain.
No, I have no clue.
Is it the United States, Great Britain, and Ireland?
Not at all, no.
And have you heard of UTK's Model UN?
No, I haven't. I haven't.
No, I have not.
Yes, yeah. I don't know a lot about it, but I know they also offered something like it at my high school. I knew a lot of people who were in it. I just never joined it.
No, I have not.
I have actually. They came and spoke to our media law class.
Well, thank you guys for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Of course. So, first of all, what is Model UN?
So, Model UN is a debate style club which kind of involves role playing, and we travel across the nation and compete with different universities to represent the club and just work on our public speaking skills.
That's awesome. So, when you say role playing, can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so based on what committee we have, so there's like different topics, and each committee has different characters. So you are representing a character, which is like where the role-playing part comes into play, and then you do public speaking based on that character.
That's awesome. So, for this public speaking, what are some debates that you've already done?
Quite a lot. I think something that comes to mind is like there's been like Avatar Airbender one, there was a Mayan Civilization one that I was in. I know, McKaylee, you were in a Game of Thrones committee.
Yeah, I did a Game of Thrones committee, and then I also did a Frelimo, Mozambique's Fight for Independence historical committee. So it was very interesting.
It sounds really cool and very different from each other. Out of all of those, which one has been your favorite?
I think my favorite so far was probably the Ben and Jerry's committee.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like a bunch of people on the Ben and Jerry's board, and that was really fun. It was in Chicago, so we got to explore Chicago too. So
that's awesome. So, Chicago, you do a lot of field trips, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Okay.
So for these conferences, we travel to different universities. So we've been to Chicago for UChicago. They host Chomun.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also went to Anmun, which was William and Mary's conference. We've also been to VIX, which is UVA's conference, and then UNC Chapel Hill also hosted a conference called Unk-Munk, so just various different ones.
That's awesome. So how has your experience of being a part of the organization been so far?
I've seen a lot of growth in myself. When I was younger, I hated public speaking. I probably wouldn't be doing something like this before, but I kind of joined in high school to get better at it, and I've seen a lot of growth in myself and my public speaking skills, and yeah.
That's great. So, part of the organization, what are other events you guys go to, or besides the debates and the role playing?
So we also, actually yesterday we did laser tag.
Okay.
Yeah, so we do things like that. We also have hosted, or we went roller skating before too. We've done cabin trips. So, and we also host like practice scrimmages, which are just like a mini version of what the conferences look like. And so, yeah.
So you say you guys are like a little family, a little team.
Yes, we're very close-knit. Everyone knows each other, and we all hang out outside of Model UN.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
What has been the obstacles of Model UN?
Probably retention. It's really, really hard to keep members because we are kind of a very involved club, but also as, you know, people get older and they're in their junior and senior years, it's harder for them to come back because, you know, their workload is a lot bigger and it's harder to be more involved in Model UN.
Right. And McKaylee, you said you were a sophomore, correct?
Yes.
How has that balance been with Model UN and life and UT and everything?
So far I've been able to balance it pretty well. Model UN was the first club that I joined at UT, and I really liked the fact that there were like weekly practices and scrimmage and stuff like that, because especially if you know you don't join a lot of other clubs, it's nice to have that one club that's always doing something to keep you busy.
Right. So to go on the scrimmages, can you guys give like an example of what one would look like or how the practices go?
So basically it's like, it can vary from a 1-day scrimmage to like 2-day scrimmage, which is like the weekend, and it's about 3 to 4 hours for like, there's like 3 sessions of like 3 to 4 hours or 2 to 3 hours.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It's a long session.
Mm-hmm. It's to prepare us for the upcoming conferences that we have, because conferences are 4 days long, so it's a lot of debating. But people just, you know, speak, and they also they create their own like ideas and like arcs is what we call it.
Mm-hmm.
So the characters' goals, what they have in mind, and what they want to achieve in committee, they write notes behind, which is like back room. It's really complicated.
Right.
It's something that you have to like be a part of to actually really understand and get to know.
It's the hands-on experience.
Mm-hmm.
You can talk, but once you're actually put in those situations,
Right.
it's completely different.
Yeah.
Sometimes practice can't prepare you enough.
Yeah.
But with the group, do you guys have titles, or what do you do within it specifically?
Like, what do you mean?
Like, do you guys have any like titles that like you're?
Okay. Yeah. So I'm the president of the club. It's been a lot of fun, a lot of work,
Mm-hmm.
but so far so good. And yeah, McKaylee.
I'm the secretary for Model United Nations, and I'm very excited to be on exec board this year.
Well, congrats on the titles, guys.
Thank you.
President, that's a big one. You don't have to downplay it. Probably a lot comes with it.
Definitely. Yeah, for sure.
What's like your biggest takeaway as president?
Probably communication.
Mm-hmm.
And like making other people happy. Sometimes it's really important to make sure that everyone's voices are heard when you make a decision, and keeping everyone informed and things like that.
Right. So for somebody who wants to join, where can they join and how can they join?
Yeah. So we have an Instagram page. It's UTKMUN, and we have information on there, but we meet at the Student Union. The times vary, or the rooms vary, but we meet at 7:15 on Thursdays at the Student Union, usually in room 169, but it can be another room as well.
Gotcha. Well, if you guys are interested, go check it out because it seems really cool. So you guys touched on retention. I kind of want to go back to that because I feel like I skipped over it, and that's like an obstacle you guys face. What do you think UT or you guys can do better to not have those retention problems?
I think a lot of it just comes down to being flexible and making sure that we plan things way ahead, like in advance, so that people can like take time off work or put it in their calendars and accommodate their schedules according to that. I think that's something that we have been working on. McKaylee, do you have anything to add?
I would also just say, like, a lot of members, when you first come in, especially new members, they feel very overwhelmed and they feel as though they have to participate in everything. And in order to be a member of Model UN, you don't have to travel. You don't have to do all the fun, well, not necessarily fun things, but the things that we do, or even go to the scrimmages. You can just simply show up to the meetings every Thursday at 7:15, and that's pretty much all we ask.
Yeah, it's Model UN is just how much you want to put into it. If you want to be really involved, you can be. If you don't want to, you also don't have to. So
Right. It's that flexibility, like you said earlier. I mean, being a student on campus, it's a lot having organizations and balancing that with life and schoolwork. And do you guys think you guys do a good enough job for that?
yeah,
It's a loaded question, I know.
it's been rough the past couple of weeks, but I think I'm slowly getting into it, balancing everything out. But it is hard, getting everything together and, you know, making sure you have time for everything and not slipping up on school or anything like that. So.
Right. Well, it seems like you're figuring it out, and you're a senior, right? So, well, good luck for after all this. That's when everything kicks in.
Right.
But for my final question, I want to ask, what is your favorite memory? I know you guys said that you guys do a lot of role playing and you play these characters. Is there a specific moment that sticks out and you're like, oh my gosh, that was so much fun, or oh my gosh, that was awful?
I think my favorite memory was probably at a conference called VIX. We all had dinner together at the end. We went to a Mexican restaurant, and that was probably like one of my favorite moments. So,
Team bonding.
yeah, exactly.
What about you?
My favorite memory will have to be when we had a scrimmage and it was Super Mario themed, and I was Toad. And one of our crisis updates, like, he comes in and he does this really big announcement to everybody during committee, and he announced that through backroom and directives, I was able to create my own kingdom. So I had Toad Kingdom, and that was really fun.
That's awesome. That sounds like a lot of fun with all these characters. And you mentioned earlier Avatar. I forgot the name of
The Mayan civilization.
Right.
Yeah.
All of that. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. It's been so cool knowing more about the organization and just you guys and the memories you have, and hopefully more people join because
Yeah, thank you for having us.
yeah, of course. Well, that's all the time we have for this time. See you next week on Vol Talk.